everyone. My name is Miss Hall, and today we are going to be talking about building healthy relationships, also recognizing toxic traits, maybe some negative traits, as well as setting boundaries and giving and getting consent. But before we begin, I just want to introduce myself. So like I said before, my name is Miss Hall, Hall like you walk down like a hallway, and I'm one of Miss Cowgill's 4 interns this semester, and I am here every Tuesday and Friday. And a fun fact about me is that I eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every single day. So on Tuesdays and Fridays, you can come into Miss Cowgill's office and share PB&J with me because I'm there every day.
Hey everyone, Omar Sanchez here. You can call me Mr. Sanchez. I am currently here on Thursdays and Fridays. And a couple fun facts about myself is I actually did graduate from John Adams Middle School about 10 years ago. And I also went to Grant Elementary School, and I went to the high school in Santa Monica High. Nice seeing everyone.
So we're going to jump into it. Of course, this presentation was supposed to be completely in person, but due to circumstances beyond our control, and of course beyond your control, we are going to switch it to a virtual platform. So some agreements are going to make sense both ways. Things like respect. We're going to be really respectful about the topics that we're talking about. You guys do want to discuss anything using I statements like I feel or I think. And then of course, one voice, all ears. Yeah, if you want to ever have a conversation where it's both voices, all ears, like we said, we are in the counseling office. And then of course, confidentiality. If you want to talk to either myself, one of the other counseling interns, your teachers, or Miss Cowgill about anything we discuss in this video, that's totally awesome. And just know that everything you say will remain confidential. Of course, there are exceptions, like if you threaten to punch someone, then we got to tattle. But I know none of you guys are going to do that, so it doesn't really matter. So just some resources for you guys to write down or take a screenshot of. First thing we have is a teen hotline. This is a 24-hour emergency hotline. That means it doesn't matter if you call at 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon, someone's going to pick up that phone and talk to you about whatever's going on. There's also another number to speak exclusively with other teens. I know it can be a lot more comfortable to discuss problems or situations with someone your own age. So there's a phone number that you can speak to other teens or text teens. If you're like me and you just hate talking on the phone and you avoid it at all costs, there is a number that you can text to text other teens, or you can of course download the Teen Talk app on a smartphone, which is an app that you can talk to other teens on.
So we're going to get right into it. So, we just want to highlight so what is a relationship? What kind of relationships are there? And what relationships in your life are most meaningful to you? So as you see on the screen, we have the Cowgills, or Miss Cowgill and her cat. We have myself with my brother and sister, which are my best friends. And then we have Madison on there with her beautiful mother. So they have a great relationship. We all have a great relationship with our siblings and family. So we just want you to think about your relationships and the ones you hold to heart. Those could be with your friends, with your peers, with your counselors, with your teachers. So it just varies from person to person on what relationships they hold to heart. And as you see on the screen, there's many pictures of people you are familiar with. So who has a relationship you admire, appreciate? And we just want you to think about pop culture, the news, your life, or even fictional couples. So here we see SpongeBob and Patrick. Yeah, they're best friends, but they have good experiences and they also have bad experiences. But after everything, they still are friends. They still support each other and help each other out. And then we have Finding Nemo. We have Nemo and his dad, Marlin. They have a rough relationship at the beginning. The dad is very controlling and wants the best for his child. But at the end of the day, they still have that loving connection. They care for each other. And that father-son duo is very much there. So we just wanted to highlight some of these characters that we all see and in our daily lives and in pop culture and the news, so you can relate to them in such manner. And now we want to move on to what things make a healthy relationship.
So in the relationships that you have in your life, either with your parents, your siblings, your friends, your peers, even your teachers, and your fellow schoolmates, what makes relationships healthy with them? Is it things like being able to talk to them or feeling safe with them? There's a million things that make you want to continue to be in a relationship with someone or to continue having a friendship with someone. So really quickly, we're going to show you the dating equality and respect circle. So if you notice, it is a perfect circle, but if any one piece is missing, the circle is not going to work. It's going to be a pretty useless half of a circle. And same is true with a relationship. If it's missing any of these factors, then it's not a healthy relationship. Things like equality, are you guys equal, or is there a safe power dynamic? Communication, can you talk to that person? Do they respect what you have to say? There's negotiation and compromise. Are you constantly going where one person wants to go for dinner? Or are you always going where one person wants to go to eat? Things like safety. Do you feel safe with them? Do you know that they would never put you in harm's way? Things like honesty. Do you trust them to tell you the truth? Support. Are they going to be there for you in hard situations? Of course, trusting them is incredibly important as well. So these are all important parts of any healthy relationship. And we just want to highlight those so you guys know what to look for.
And once again, we're jumping now into boundaries. And what are boundaries? Personal boundaries are the limits we set for ourselves in relationships. So setting boundaries helps both you and others. Stay true to yourselves, communicate with both you and what you need to feel respected and feel safe and loved in general. So we all have our own personal boundaries with our certain relationships. So we just want to be cognizant of what boundaries are healthy and which ones are not healthy. So overall, we want you guys to have a safe place to freely share your boundaries and freely stay true to yourselves. Sorry. And once again, boundaries are not the sign of secrecy or distrust. They're an expression of what makes you feel comfortable and what you would like or would not like in a relationship. And once again, we're going to get into the do's and the do nots and healthy boundaries. So in the do section, help you get to know each other better, show respect for each other's individual likes and needs, and also protect yourself from digital privacy like email, social media, and cell phones. That's not saying push someone away. You don't want them to look at anything, but it's more like a personal diary that you have for yourself. You want that to be private. You want that to be to yourself. So I kind of relate that back to your email, social media, and overall your cell phone privacy, and also make your relationship better. And do not place limits on what you go out with friends and who you spend time with. Stop you from participating in hobbies and activities and feel one-sided. And make sure if you feel like you're not walking on eggshells. If many of you don't know what walking on eggshells means, it means, if you have to feel timid and kind of have to be careful what you say around your friends or anyone that you hold a close relationship with, then that's something you really don't want to do. So, healthy boundaries are selfish, or you could be selfish in regards to healthy boundaries. So they're important and deserve to be respected.
So now we're going to start talking about consent. So what is consent? It's basically asking for permission before you do something. And we practice consent every single day here on the JAMS campus, at your home, with friends. Things like, do you want a hug? Miss Calgill, your guys' counselor, absolutely hates hugs. And she feels really upset when people try to give her hugs without asking so she can say no. You have something in your hair. Can I get it out for you? That's asking before you violate someone's personal space because you might offend them. You can make it into an option as well. Would you like a glass of water or a glass of juice? One that I practice in my everyday life is when people ask me, can I pet your dog? I have 2 dogs. One of them loves to be pet and would absolutely adore it if someone came up and pet him. My other dog is really timid and he's really shy and he does not like to be touched by strangers. It makes him really uncomfortable. So when people ask, I normally give consent for them to pet one of my dogs, and then I say no when they ask to pet the other. Another example is when you ask to borrow something from a friend. Can I borrow your Squishmallow? You should be asking and checking in even if they've let you borrow it before, because just because someone said yes to something one day does not mean they gave consent for the rest of their life for it. You'll notice every single day on the JAMS campus at the front office, before you walk in, Ms. Beshman asks, may I take your temperature? That is asking your consent before she takes your temperature, which is something that I learned from her you should always do. Before then, I was kind of just putting thermometers in people's faces without really asking, and that wasn't cool. So I definitely had some growth to do, and that's something that I really took very seriously, and I think is a really important thing. And then through practicing consent, you not only open the conversation to understand other people's needs, but it allows you to have a chance to express your own needs as well. So consent is mutual. It's between one or two people, or sometimes even a whole class or an entire school. It's active and it's respecting boundaries that people set. It's comfortable and it makes your relationship with someone feel more safe and secure. It's also retractable. You can take it back if you change your mind. I know I certainly have when it comes to wearing masks. When a few weeks ago, I was a lot more comfortable being in a room with someone who wasn't wearing a mask, who had been vaccinated. But now that cases are on the rise, I no longer give my consent for that. It's also checking in and it's willingly given. You don't just give consent because someone asked you 100 times and you just want them to stop talking to you. That's not consent. That's just being annoyed. And you want to make sure that when you're getting consent or giving consent, it's enthusiastic and willingly given. And it is a conversation. In that conversation, it gives you a chance to speak your mind, to listen to others, to ask questions if you're not sure, to be present, and of course, checking in. People of all genders and all orientations are responsible for both giving and getting consent. Everyone has boundaries and everyone's consent matters.
And once again, we're going to highlight your rights. So you have the right to feel good about yourself. You have the right to say no if you feel uncomfortable. And a lot of people are, timid to say no to their friends or their siblings, but sometimes it's in your best interest to say no. So that's totally okay. Change your mind. Spend time with people you care about. Private use of your cell phone or even computers. Spend time doing activities that matter to you. And overall, we want you guys to be safe. Healthy relationship should feel freeing. And now, since we spoke about healthy signs in a relationship, we want you just to brainstorm in your head, what are some signs of unhealthy relationships? So as we go through the motions and we see this, I do not like when someone is disrespectful and raises their voice at me. So that is one sign of a unhealthy relationship that I do not like. So if my brother raises a voice at me or he's being disrespectful, I would have to step out and just take some time to myself. And we want you guys to realize what are the healthy signs and the unhealthy signs.
I definitely know one of the unhealthy signs for me in a friendship is if someone's not respecting the boundaries that I've set down or not really respecting my thoughts or opinions or how I feel in the matter. That's a really big one to me. And if someone continues to not respect that, I either have to have a conversation with them, maybe it's just an unhealthy relationship and I just need to take a break from that person. So we talked about unhealthy relationships, but they are much different than abusive relationships. So in an unhealthy relationship, you may bicker with someone, you may not get along with them, maybe don't see eye to eye, and maybe it's just not a good fit. Abuse is different because abuse is intentional. It's meant to hurt or to harm someone, and it's never okay. So abuse is defined as a pattern of actual or threatened acts of physical, sexual, emotional, and or digital violence against a person. And basically, it's all about power and control. The person who is being the abuser is using actual or threatened threats against a person to get them to do exactly what they want or to think how they think or to feel how they feel. And it's just about power and control. And once again, it is never okay. And it is always the abuser's fault, never the victim.
And, we just want to help you define an abusive relationship. So abuse occurs to and by all of people who have any gender, to and by people of all races, religions, and cultural backgrounds in straight and LGBTQ plus relationships. And once again, we can't harp on this enough. Because of the abuser, it is never the victim's fault. Because of the abuser, it is never the victim's fault. And now moving on to, how healthy ways to help your friends. So some do's and do nots. We're gonna start with how to help your friends. And, you can just simply ask, how are they doing? Is something wrong? Express concern, listen and believe them, offer help, and share resources on teen relationships, and also connect them to trusted adults. You may have a trusted adult on campus, like a teacher or a counselor that you trust. So if you feel the need to extend that lending hand, then you should do so. For the don'ts, you shouldn't wait for them to come to you, confront their abuser, judge or blame them, pressure them, or place conditions on your support.
So you all have rights. And your rights are to be treated as an equal, to choose your own friends, to be happy, to be treated with respect, to express your own thoughts and opinions, to have your boundaries respected, to change your mind at any time, and to feel good about yourself. And you guys have those rights here on the JAMS campus, as well as in your personal life, at home, with your friends. So this is normally the part where we ask if anyone has any questions, concerns, or takeaways, but obviously as this is virtual, I'm gonna leave you guys with, once again, the resources we provided at the beginning. That teen hotline, 24 hours available. So once again, it doesn't matter if it's 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon, you can call that line and someone will pick up. There's also the teen hotline, as well as the texting option and the Teen Talk app. And then I can't highlight this enough, but you are more than welcome to speak with us in the counseling office. As I said earlier, Ms. Cowgill has 4 interns this semester, which means someone's there almost every single day as an intern, but also Ms. Cowgill's there every single day as well. You also have resources on campus, such as your teachers or your friends who you can always talk to. And we'd love to hear if you have any questions or this presentation brought up anything you'd like to discuss. So here I'm going to give you the 6th grade counselors. So as you can see, I'm right up there in that corner, Miss Hall with my email, and I am here on Tuesdays and Fridays. We also have Mr. Sanchez and his contact information. He is here on Thursdays and Fridays. Then we have Miss Ho, who is here on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Miss Thomas, who is here on Thursdays, and of course, Miss Cowgill, who is here every single day of the week. If you guys have any questions or want to discuss anything, we'd love to hear from you. So feel free to shoot us an email or just